finally got in.
Maybe so.
Like, what in tarnation is going on here?
I didn't know. I left the room. I tried it.
I was just sitting here, and then I thought I don't know. Anyway, hang on.
Nothing. I'm glad we can meet. I'm gonna have to go outside so I can hear we get on our little prayer.
All right. Okay, we are here.
Yeah.
Well, my bad. Shoot, I didn't know. I was just sitting in the room.
Hi, everybody.
Hi. Come on in the room. Oh.
You know I'm at work, so I'm gonna put y'all on pause because I don't want all that noise to interrupt.
Right.
Yeah. Today I started to get a rash. It started on my face. It started to spread all over my body, my arms, my face, my legs, like everywhere. I look at myself, I'm super red. I got scared, like, what is this? Like, look, it's getting worse. Didn't you get this in Panama? Even in Panama, it wasn't this issue. Did you eat?
Well, what you eating, Zakia?
A chicken salad sandwich.
Looks delicious. Looks tasty.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know what the hell we're going to talk about today. No idea. Have no idea. Let's see, what can we talk about? Spirit. All right, that's my grocery list. I need to pull that out of there. All right, I'm just maybe waiting. Maybe Tara has a little message, hopefully. If not, I think we talked about prayer Wednesday. So Wednesday we talked about prayer. So I think on Sundays, I want to talk about, because we are on, what was it? We got 5 months now, right? We got 5 months. So let's talk about the 5 months. 5 months. Oh, touchdown. My God. All right. So let's talk about the 5 months. So 5 months, we talked about last week, you know, just like our gifts and our talents and things like that. One of the things that I'm working on is I am working on the newsletter. So I'm doing that. And then with all the hell that broke loose, I wasn't able to finish it, but I started it. So I wasn't able to really finish it, but I can say that I started. Okay. So I started. So I know I want to get back to the homework. So the homework that I've never given really was I want to work on an interview with yourself. And then the other one was, do you know who God sees you as. Okay, so 5 months. Well, we got a lot of questions that we haven't even done. So what's going on with you?
Oh, I just got out of work.
What work? The second job, Walmart.
Yeah,
Oh, how's that going for you?
my feet hurt.
So you tell me you work a second job.
Listen, they getting hard-headed.
See,
Mhm.
y'all on me, and then y'all doing the same thing.
Nah,
But I ain't gonna be working.
I don't know you. I prayed about mine. I prayed before
Well,
I went. Before I jumped out there and did anything. And
She said she,
let me tell you how this worked. That's why I said when I said I prayed about it, and I left it alone. And I was talking to I had actually talked to my aunt because my aunt works at the Walmart. So I asked my aunt. I said, "Do you think y'all hiring part time? Because I need." She's like, "Yeah, see, the holidays coming up, so they need all the help they can get." So she told me to go on there and apply. I did. The night she told me to apply, I applied. Well, the next day, somebody called me. And when they called me, he was like, "You think you come in today for an interview?" And I was like, "Yeah, I could be there." I told him I had a first shift job. And I was like, "I don't get off there till 5." He was like, "Can you be here at 5:15?" I'm like, "Yeah." Well, after I got off the phone with him, my aunt called. My aunt called me. She was like, "What last name do you have under your application?" Because she was finna go talk to the people about it. And I said, "Well, somebody already done called me for an interview." She was like, "Oh, okay." She said, "Well, no, they jumped on that fast because I ain't even talked to nobody about you." She said, "I didn't even go and talk to anybody yet." I was like, "Oh, well, I got an interview today." And she was like, "Oh, okay." And I went to the interview. They gave me the job. So
I
It
had
just-
the job too. I just missed the date.
and it wasn't so much as you missed the date. It was just it wasn't for you. When things
right.
like that happen to Angie, that's when you just know, go, okay, God, just he's
And see, I
shifted me
feel like this
somewhere
was for
else.
me because I was like, okay, if I got to work on myself for 6 months, it's gonna be part of it. And I'm working on my finances, and I'm working on me.
And you're gonna get us some discounts.
Mm-hmm.
And the church said amen. No, I'm just kidding. You don't have to
Yep.
do that. It's fine.
I would have gave y'all some discounts too if they would have just told me. I just should have looked at the email.
Who you missed?
Burlington.
Who?
Do y'all have that in y'all? Y'all probably don't have it.
What's the
Burlington
name of it?
Store.
Burlington Coat
That's
Factory.
my show. I mean, that's my store, Burlington.
I could have sent you my discount.
I got a
Well,
credit
I
card
got
with them, but the Lord working on me with that because it's on hold right now. It's frozen, so I pay my balance down.
honey,
Oh
we
my
gonna hold
goodness.
this because you
Yeah,
was doing too much, sis.
yeah, because I don't know how I maxed out a $550 credit limit.
550. Jesus Christ.
It's easy.
When I tell you I love Burlington, I love Burlington.
It's like it's like a simple store that you can get like name brand stuff.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a TJ Maxx. Like I was with my sister-in-law. We were in Vegas and we went into TJ Maxx. I don't know what we went in there for. Oh, she went to go find her some shoes to wear to the club that night. We were going to the concert. And when I tell you TJ Maxx was like, "Hi, you haven't been here in a while, have you?" And I was like, "No, I haven't." So I went to a TJ Maxx here and I got these little oils, and I got my boss this for her birthday. I got her this neck thing because she has neck problems. So I brought her this neck. I was like, I will be up in here, up in here.
Yep. I don't
TJ
even go
Maxx,
to the TJ Maxx by my house. I dare not
like
go in there.
Ross and TJ Maxx.
Hmm.
Yeah, them stores, you can get all kinds of stuff in there.
Right.
I haven't been in Burlington in a while. That's one store that I haven't been in
I
a
ain't
minute.
either. Since I froze my credit card, I ain't been in there either. Ain't no sense me going in there. It just don't sit right for me to have to spend money when I know I can swipe a credit card at that. So I just don't even go in there.
That is hilarious.
That's my discipline. So I got like $200 more left on my balance, but I'm out of sight, out of mind. Like the
Mhm.
closest Burlington to me is like 45 minutes away. So I
I'm
gotta be
so I just
great.
don't know why them people did me like that.
What you mean? They reached out to you. You did yourself.
I mean, let me say this, and I don't want you to feel like it wasn't for you. You were
Yeah.
about to do way too much, and
Yeah.
you're about to overexert yourself. God has it. Who is it? What do you need? Come here. Oh, they run so fast now. Y'all should see it. It's just, whoa. They
running from you.
I mean, they is not talking to their mama right now. They is really distancing themselves from me, and you know.
Good.
So
they all sticking together.
no, it's okay. So
Let me get one of your chicken.
number 2 and number 3,
Mm.
them two, and then number 1 and 4, they're just kind of like whatever. But I knew 2 and 3. Can I see my phone? No.
She is trying it.
Pushing. I want to call my grandpa. Probably called me, and I was just like, well,
If he call, I answer and let him know what's up. No.
Yeah. So it's off. So I just turned it off because this phone, when I say it goes off, it be flashing, ting, 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 ting.
Mm-hmm.
So
I know
anyway,
it was hard for you, though. It was hard for you.
it was very, very hard because I'm used to bending and hearing and okay, well, we'll negotiate and then this was just like because then how I felt when she woke up and then she started cleaning up, then I felt like now you're forcing me to do it. Now you're forcing me to do this thing that that I haven't even that I've said several times. So
that's why I said stand your ground.
Yeah. So I had to, and it was hard. I had to leave just to make sure it was,
Yeah, because I do my daughter like that. I'll be trying to be stern, and then I end up. But then you know what she does? She always end up biting me in the butt, like later on. Like, so I'm like, you know what? Mm-mm.
Yeah, so that's where I get. It's like, I told her, I said, it's grace. Like I'm giving grace after grace after grace, and then I'm giving more grace, and then in giving the grace, you are just kind of like taking it as, who cares?
Right, mama gonna do it anyway. She gonna do it. She gonna break. She gonna break.
And my daughter's dad had told me, he said, he said that those kind of people, he said they just do it just to see, am I gonna get caught? He said, and then if I don't get caught, he said, then they just keep doing it. And he said, you just let them run over you. He said, I see it. He said, when I'm just sitting there, he said, I see it. He said, I see how they just, they just do you. And I said, and I have to get to a place of where my no is no and my yes is yes. If I say no, that's what it is. I know you're going to be mad at me, in the interim, but at the end of the day, this is the lesson. You can't go out here making irrational decisions. And that goes for any of you, and I hope that, she became the lesson for y'all. Any of you make an irrational decision. This is what the repercussions are going to be. So it's been tough. So I left last night. So I went over to his house and I spent the night over there. And so, I mean, people was coming to the house, and it is what it is. So then I talked to her grandpa today, and he was supposed to send her some money. And so she doesn't have her ID, like the state ID. So she doesn't have that. He said, I'm not sending the money. He said, I'm going to leave it there. He said, but I told her to go and get her own ID. He said, I told her to go do it. He said, I'm not going to baby her. And he said, now you can baby her. You can keep doing that. He said, but I'm not going to do it. He said, and I don't mean to be, excited about it. I said, hey, listen, I said, you are 100% on the mark. He said, now, like I told her, I am not Santa Claus. I'm not going to be doing all this. He said, but, you know, so I just told him, I said, I respect it, you know, and so he's like, until she gets that ID, he said, I'm not going to send no money to her. And I was like, "Yee." So, of course, I'll be the blame for that. Like, you didn't ever take me to go get my permit, you know.
She needs help, Lord.
But every time I've taken you, or when I've asked you, you know, but you want to get in my car and you want to drive, but you have no, like, you're not making the initial, it's like you want the privilege, but you're not going to do the work. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you are stronger than me because I probably would have gave in because I'd be like, oh, I don't want her to miss out on her. And I'm always like that. I don't want you to miss. I want you to experience everything that God has for you.
But God ain't gonna bless no foolishness though.
You're right.
He ain't gonna and you don't never know what blessing she may be blocking by doing so. Like God is telling her to punish, you know, like they say, spare the rod, spoil the child. And by her going back on her word, you never know what blessing she could be blocking for herself by doing it.
Yeah, because I gave in at first. I told her, oh, she's doing it. Maybe you could think about it.
It's like the test, because my thing is I always like, because at first when she got in trouble, I was like, okay, well, we can do the party, but then you are grounded thereafter. Then in my mind, I kept feeling like, okay, but where I'm still giving you the reward. I'm still giving you the benefit of enjoying a thing when you like, I'm just still looking at the whole concept. You made a choice. And then when I'm watching the video, I'm like, there's moments that you could have walked away, you know. There was, you guys seen it. The two were fighting. That moment, you could have been like, you know what, I'm not even gonna. But you stayed there, and then you swung first. So now you've assaulted the girl. You know, so
that's what I tell my daughter: don't never hit first. Let them hit you.
Yeah, and then it's like defense. So, you know, we had the talk about that, and I just told her, I said, Nevaeh, it's like there's a scripture that says, spare the rod, spoil the child. And I even gave her the example of Moses, when Moses was up in the mountain, and I said, and he's talking to God. I said, Nevaeh, I pray about everything, every decision that I know that I have to consciously make for you guys. I really have to pray about it, because I don't want it to be a thing where I'm just making it out of my emotions or whatever. I'm making a decision to be conscious, to say, okay, should I? And I said, and it was just like when Moses went to the mountain. Moses is up there talking to God, and the children of Israel want to try to do their own thing. And then he come down and he's like, now what? Now see, y'all couldn't even wait. You can even wait for the instruction. And this is what I told her: you make a decision, and then you want me to like how can I say it? It's like you make an appointment, and then I got to show up for the appointment. Right. And you're just like, okay, well, you know, you're talking to your friends and you're like, okay, so me, Susie, and Becky, da 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 da, and Susie and Becky, y'all making all these plans. And Susie's like, okay, well, I'll be there in 10 minutes. And then you come to me and like, well, me, Susie, and Becky are done. And I'm like, well, did you think to ask me?
Right.
Like, there's no regard for like, there's no reverence for respect.
Right.
And, you know, that's what my daughter said. He was just like, T, they don't respect you. He's like, they don't. He said, because this is what you do. And he said, I am so proud of you that you did that. He said, because what you do is, he said, I see it. He said, they do a thing. He said, and then you just let it slide. He said, and then he said, they just run over you. And I was like, you know, and it, you know, it makes you feel bad to hear a man tell you that. But I was just like, you know, you're right. You're absolutely correct.
You need that from the outside looking in. Somebody from the outside looking in, they tell you what you don't see. So you needed that. You knew it, but for somebody else to confirm that for you, it just helps you mentally. Like, okay, well, and you like Ms. Gail said, you're gonna feel bad, but at the same time, you got to get your respect back. You got to demand your respect back.
Part.
You can't just I know when my mom used to just do stuff when I was her age, my mom used to just slide and let me do. I'd be like, oh, okay. Well, my mom she ain't gonna trip. She ain't tripped last time, you know, and I just kept doing stuff. And it just got to a point where I just be like, you know what? When I got in trouble, I got locked up. And my mom was just like, oh, no, you standing there. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And
so, yeah, that's where I'm at, you know. And then it was so tough. but I knew that I had to stick with what I said. You know,
Right.
because that's the thing, like I know the structure and the discipline part of it, but then it's just like, then I bend and then I'm just like, you know, just to get you out of my face, go ahead, shit, go.
Yeah.
And then I know I'm wrong for that, because this is what I told her. I said, when you get, and I said, this right here, what you're going through, this is lightweight. This is minuscule. This is nothing. I said, wait till you get to college and wait till you get into the real world where women are, they are bitches for real. They will go after, they go for the jugular. And I said, and it is difficult. It's different when it's grown women, whereas you have younger, where women consciously, you should know consciously, I'm not going to do nothing. I said, Nevaeh, do you know, I said, there are so many times that I want to beat a woman up. And I said, these little girls that be messing with you, I want to fight them so bad. I want to put my hands on them so bad. I said, but what I'm losing out more than anything.
Right. Consequences for your action.
Yeah. So
It's
then it's
consequences.
like I'm losing out because I decide I want to just go with the emotion because I'm angry and then put my hands on a person. You know, I no. And I said, I want to hit them so bad. But what is it gaining me? Nothing. So you know, that's just what happened. So she's kind of sad today. She's very somber. And I'm like, you know, what she told me, she was like, I'm running away. I'm just running away. I said, no, the fuck you ain't. I said, you're going to go in there. I said, you're going to get out of my face and you're going to go inside and you're going to sit down. I said, because you running away. I said, you ain't going to have the luxury of turning the light on, going down there to eat, going to the bathroom. You ain't going to have what you have here. So go on inside and shut up. You ain't going nowhere.
And what they got to realize too is the fact that I bend over backwards for y'all. Y'all don't got nobody else doing stuff for y'all. Like, you got to understand, you don't get but one mama. One. You can get bonus moms, all that, but they ain't like your mama. Like, you sitting here thinking about, it could have went left. Like, that girl parents could have filed charges because you hit her first.
Yeah.
Like, she got to think about stuff like that, and the fact that you bend over backwards for them. You're a single mom. You bend over backwards for them. And it's just like, for you not to even respect that, like, you just think that, oh, because I'm your mom, I got to. No, I
That
don't.
part, Kia. That
I
part.
don't.
Like, I have to do this.
Right.
Like, and that's how I felt. Like, you were like, now you get up and you're cleaning up the whole house. Like, and now you're telling me. Basically, that's what you're telling me.
Right.
I'm telling you, I'm
having this party, and these people gonna come over here, and you're gonna let them in. Oh, okay. You know this is my house, right? You know my name is on this piece of paper. So if they come to my house, I can easily tell them no. She's not having a party. Turn around, go back where you came from. And if they continue to stay there, they're trespassing at this point because I asked you to leave.
Yeah.
So it's just, she just, it's gonna be a lesson learned. But watch, she gonna end up. I say in a couple days, she gonna end up trying to apologize. Mom, I'm sorry, or whatever. But whatever, you messed up your own celebration. You can't blame nobody but yourself.
That part.
And your homegirl. Like I said, your homegirl learn how to fight. So you get you a friend that know how to tussle. She don't know how to fight, that you had to go in and play Captain Saber for her. Cause that's what that was. That's my homegirl. Y'all ain't gonna be beefing with my home. Y'all ain't gonna I know what that is because I'm a protector of my friend.
The friend that she fought, So her friend's gone, and I told her, then she said, I said, and then she just made a blanket statement. Anybody can get it. And I would have been like, okay, well, you know where I stay, homie.
Right.
You've been to my house several times.
It's one of them situations where I can't be seen around you knowing you got beat up. So I got to get my credit back. So even though you got beat up, but they gonna remember this butt whooping. So now they can, even though they be like, you hang over that girl that got beat up, but I would, but afterwards though.
Yeah.
I came back, it's crazy.
Yeah. So
she just gotta learn. She old enough, she just gotta learn. Everything can't go your way. Everything is not gonna go your way.
Yeah. Not.
That's life. It is not gonna always go your way. Yeah, okay, if you got to be the villain, so what? Be the villain this go round. But I bet now she'll know, okay, everybody ain't meant to be played with. And you're not gonna play with me.
That part. And so now that I think, and I really want to say this, I believe that me doing that set the tone for everybody else.
To fall in line.
To be
You don't like it? Get out.
Yeah. So the oldest one yesterday, I had went over to my daughter's dad's house. And so she was like, oh, Mom, she tore her room up. She said, but we went downstairs. The two oldest one went downstairs and was like, we've been here. So go ahead and get up. Come on upstairs with us. You're going to have to clean this room. Get up. Come on. Party with us. Because we done been there. She was like, you know, Tajay got her door taken off her hinges. She was like, she said, I done got kicked out several times. She said, so come on. Just come on up here and get upstairs. So, you know, she's mad, and I understand. And you'll be mad at me for a while. And like Michelle Obama said, I'm not here to be your friend. Like I told her, I said, I'm here to train you so that when you get out in the world, you know exactly how to maneuver through these things. And right now, how you're acting is if like I owe you that. I owe you a thing. I don't owe you anything. I owe you respect, love, care. I owe you that much. So, you know, I was talking to I was telling my daughter's dad about it, and I was just like crying, and I was just like, I'm fucking frustrated, like, you know. And I said, and then they're telling me I'm not compassionate. And he stopped and he said, T, he said, you know how I'm big on words. And he said, he said, you're big on words too. He said, I want you to look up the word compassion. He said, I want you to look it up. He said, and I want you to understand, he said, when you go to work, he said, you pay them light bills and you get the groceries and you do all those things. He said, that's showing compassion. He said,
that was a manipulation tactic. They were trying to manipulate you.
Girl, yeah. Yeah, so it was tough, y'all. That was tough. But you know, I had to set the ground for her because Nevaeh has gotten away with so much. And I said, Nevaeh, it's this, it's that, it's I said, I've been talking to you since 9th grade. 8th grade, really. And I said, and it's the same thing over. I said, my voice is on auto repeat for you. And I said, and somewhere you're missing it. And I said, and so I will no longer be talking. Now I will be doing the thing that I'm doing right now.
Action.
Okay. Yeah. And so just like I was saying, I was like, you know, now today I come home, dishes piled up, you downstairs. Can I have my phone? So my daughter's dad was here because he dropped me off. So it's like, you know how you used to do. Mama, can I have, you know, as soon as I get on the call, everybody want to come in the room. It's that thing because we know she's distracted kind of thing. So it's the, can I see my phone? And I'm like, for what? She's like, my grandpa probably called me. Okay. Well, you just gonna wait until you get your phone back. So then when I talked to grandpa, I talked to him today and I said, well, she's granted. He was like, I know she told me. And I was like, okay. So as long as you know, she ain't gonna be answering that phone for a couple of days. And
so he ain't called her.
Yeah. So it'll be a couple of weeks. Okay. You keep messing around with me. And Gail was like, Tarina, if she keeps asking you, she said, just tell her that's another week.
That's another week. I was just about to say that. My mom used to do that. That's another week. So I bet you she zip it because you keep and you stand because she has to realize she's not the last one. You have one more. So she's looking. She's looking to see what she can get away with when she get to that age. By you standing your ground and being firm on, oh, okay, I know I can't do that because mama is like, she for real this time. Like,
yeah.
And like the older one said, we've been there. So, okay, so talk some sense into y'all sisters. Y'all know y'all do that.
They try. Yeah, and that's the thing that they told her. They were like, yeah, thank you, please. But you know, they have been telling her that. Like, it's not like, you know, you don't hear them tell you. They were like, the mom we had, they was like, man, she'd got hit a long time ago. And I told Nevaeh, I said, Nevaeh, I have given so much grace. And I said, in this day and age, we're not, you know, as disciplining because I work for the county. We see it. Like I gotta, you know, just you see the requests that come in from, you know, the school systems when a kid goes down to the office and says, I'm scared to go home because my mom's gonna whoop me or things like that. CPS comes right to your door. Thank you. So CPS comes, and so, like I told her, they have this thing now. It's called, they call it the red team here in Colorado. And it's like when CPS, when there's a case that comes through, what the team does is they kind of just navigate through and they look at it and they'll say, okay, is this something that we need to, or do we just kind of squash it? So yeah, it's that thing, but shit, I did what I had to do and I feel good about it, and I'm okay with it,
Yeah.
But she came to the car, she was like, can the DJ just come and do one set, blah, blah, blah. And he's talking about $50. I said, well, I said, what's his number? Tell him I'll send him his $50 on Wednesday. She was like, I met him on Instagram. I said, well, give me his Instagram. I'll go ahead and pay him. I'll have no problem with that. That's $50. Okay. But what you're not going to do is you're not going to try. And it was like she was trying, y'all, just to try. Well, can he just come and do one set? What? One set's going to turn into an all-nighter. And then guess what that means? That means you found a way to get through it. I'm sitting in the car with baby daddy and he is like gripping my shirt because I'm leaning out the door. And I'm like, what are you not processing? How are you not getting it? And he's like, T, don't be doing that outside. I said, no, because you want to come outside and you want to act a plum fool. And so number 2 had told her, don't you go out there messing with my mama. Now you ain't gonna keep doing this to my mama. So she's coming outside. She was like, leave my mom alone and just let it be what it is. So she's outside and she's just rah and gotta. So we're sitting in the car. He was like, what did I said? That's just the attention. So now you want me to come because now you're making this big old scene. You're making this dramatic. I'm not doing it. I'm not gonna run to that. So anyway, we're sitting in the car. So she kept coming out. So she was like, well, can he just do one set because it was for free? And I looked at her and I said, no, he cannot. Tell him I'll give him his little $50. But what you're not going to do is you're not going to try to finagle it and manipulate me and think that $50 is going to be like it's going to be something that's going to hurt me. Absolutely, it's not.
Right.
Not at all. Okay, it's not going to be anything that's going to hurt me. Tell him I'll give him his $50 on Wednesday. I said, so Wednesday, give me his Instagram and I'll pay him his little $50 if that's what it's going to be. Okay, get his little Cash App and I'll do that. But you're not going to. And so my daughter's dad, he was like, well, T, let's just kind of break it down. He said, all this stems because she had sex with a boy. And then and he was like, that's the thing that we got to get to. And I was like, yep. And I had to tell her, I said, when we were growing up, my mama never really gave us the reason why not. They just told us not to. So now here we are. And I said, I have to tell you why not. And I drew it out for her. I said, this is you and this is little boy. You remember they had the soul ties. I said, this is the reason why. You sit some down and sometimes you crying and you acting out and you whatever. I said, because all these little girls that this little boy has slept with, and then you don't know who she slept with and you don't know who that little boy she slept with. You have no idea the train that happens. And then you're just this lone person who sleeps with the one little boy. And now you got all this stuff cracking off. No. So that's why not. And I said, then you don't know who has, an STD. You don't know who has AIDS, HIV. I said, you don't know because guess what? You guys aren't going to get tested. No one is telling you to go get tested. No one tells you that when you have a discharge outside of the normal. And I told her, I said, Nevaeh, he is the seed. You are the birther of the seed. So if he got chlamydia, guess what that you finna do? You're finna bake chlamydia and you finna birth chlamydia. You know what I'm saying? You finna birth whatever he's giving you. Baby or whatever. So, anywho, that was that. It was tough, but I made it through it. Like that storm.
Yeah.
The storm.
You weathered the storm.
I did, because boy, that was a storm that you was just like in the midst of the storm, you're just like, God. And I kept saying, God, and when we talked about the scripture on Wednesday, he's like, when you don't know what you're doing, he said, just pray to me. He said, and I'll help you. I was like, God, listen now, I need your help now. I really, really 100% need your help because I don't know what to do with this. It was tough. And you don't want to, seem like you're that mean parent, but now don't test me. Don't keep trying me. Don't keep pushing me,
She like my daughter with the iPad. She still ain't got her iPad back.
Aw. Yeah.
No, you think I can get the iPad and da, da, da?" I said, let me see your grades. If your grades went up to par, you're not getting it. And they went up to par. I said, oh, look like. She said, did you sell it or something? Because I told her I was gonna sell it. I was like, no,
It's
I still got it.
still sitting right on in here. Yeah, but I got it sitting right here. It's right there.
I said, you got to show yourself approved. Like, you don't show yourself approved, you will not get it. You're not gonna. No, I don't reward no miss. You know that.
Yeah. And that's how I felt. I said, I feel like you, because she was like, well, I'm already getting disciplined from the school. And then you're coming on here. She was like, and I'm getting disciplined back. And I said, so what you're telling me, and I said, and what I hear you saying is, you just want me to let the school do what they have to do to you. And then for me to close my eyes and just allow.
Look the other way. Turn the other
She's
cheek.
lucky she didn't go to jail.
Right.
Honestly.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, you put your hands on somebody else. You're lucky you did not. They didn't press charges, and you're sitting your little hiney in jail. And so I'll tell you what I did. And you can tell her the story if you want. But when I was a senior, my daddy was the superintendent. I come home on 2 rims. 2 rims. It was going, had a pony cake in the back, no brawn. My mom was standing out the back. Boyfriend was sneaking out. Oh, holy shit. My senior year, right? It's not even Christmas yet. We still have another whole 5 months to go, right? I had to go tell my coach what I did. I had to turn myself in on that. So then I got reprimanded in basketball. I got grounded till I left for college. I couldn't even go to my senior party.
Wow.
Nothing.
Wow.
Nothing. And I didn't get caught by the cops. I got caught by my parents. I thought I was doing great. I drove 2.5 hours on back roads to make it home to dodge cops so I could get back home. And I thought I was doing well until I pulled up in the driveway and my mom, where the hell were you? And I'm like, oh my God. It was painful. It was painful all the way up till my dad couldn't wait to get rid of me in August of that year. The only thing I could do was, because I had a scholarship in sports, the only thing I could do was go work out, but I couldn't go anywhere. You're under my roof. Fuck that. You don't go anywhere.
Nope.
And I better know where you're at. If I show up there, your butt better be there. So you can explain that one to her. And I didn't even get in trouble with the cops. But I learned a lot from that lesson. And it killed my dad. It killed my dad. He was so mad at me for doing that. Before I left, he goes, do you know how angry I've been at you? I go, yeah, you haven't talked to me for like 6 months. And for us to not talk, we would talk about everything. He was so angry. All he wanted was a last great 6 months before I went to school. And I blew it.
Yeah.
Nobody blew it for you. Don't ever show up at home with a pony cake in your car, no tires on the back end, and no bra on. Doesn't work very well. It won't get you too many places.
I think my senior year, I was doing good for a while, and then I just kind of was like, why? I kind of felt like, why am I doing it? Because there's no one really kind of acknowledging anything. But I know I did it not for her. I was doing it for myself. Like, I love to read. I love those things. So anyway, going to school, I kind of messed up the first part of my senior year. Just F's, just I stole the report card, hid it, all that. And then I remember it was like senior checkout. And I was close. I had enough credits, but I was so close. And so I remember one of my teachers, Mr. Doyle, will never forget that man. he said to me, well, you need to do a report. This was like my world history class. And he was like, you need to do a report. And art was another favorite subject. So I had to make these earrings and I had to create this pot and I had to do all this stuff. So I'm like making up while senior checkout. You're supposed to be sitting at home. I'm at school still making up work. And so I remember I did this report for Mr. Doyle and I brought it into his classroom. And I said, here's the report, Mr. Doyle. He took it and he ripped it. And I was just like, what? Because you remember back then, we didn't have Google where we can go and just, we had to literally go to the library, research, do all that. He ripped it up and he looked at it and he put me in front of his class. It was his 9th grade class. And he turned me around and he said, and I said, well, why did you do that? And he said, because I knew you could do it. He said, but I don't know what happened. And he said, he told his class, he said, let this be a lesson that when you get to a certain point of your life, don't you ever give up on yourself and don't you ever not put in the work. But like the end of the year, I'm at senior checkout. I'm still sitting up there trying to, get my way through, but I graduated on time with my class, but it took the work for me to do it, and so he told me, he's like, nope. My art teacher was just like, I don't even know what happened. She was like, what happened to you? She said, but I knew that you can make it. She said, the things that you were putting out, she was like, so I was like, well, I'm sorry. She said, no, don't be sorry. She's like, it's just a lesson learned. She said, and I wish you all the best in school. But, Mr. Doyle, like, I mean, thick page report for world history. I can't remember the thing that I did. When he ripped that up, he was like, because I knew you could do it. He was like, see you and he said, and he shook my hand. He said, see you at graduation. I was like, but it's that thing. And so it's just like, that's the one thing that I force with my kids. And I don't want to say I force it, but you don't ever want to get out here without a diploma. You know how many people I hear that got a GED and then they're out here struggling and they can't make it. And then you can't get a good job because you don't have a diploma. Get a diploma. If anything, get your high school diploma. And then let college take care of itself. If you choose you want to go to college, or if you choose you want to get into a career, if you choose you want to get into, a business or go to some trade school, do that. But at least you have your diploma, because going to GED, getting a GED, you got to pay for that.
Right. That's why I tell my daughter. I said that's not even an option. Don't even think you finna come take the easy way out. Mom, I'm just gonna get my GED. No, you ain't.
Absolutely
You gonna
not.
get the hell. You gonna get the hell away from me. That's what you gonna get.
Yeah, because GED, you got to pay for that. Like I don't think, I was like, you got free school, free, FREE. Why
If
would you
the only
think
thing
you're
you're
gonna?
gonna do is you're gonna get a trade. You don't have to go to college, but
Yeah, and this school that Nevaeh is in, they help you with that. They help
that's good.
with going to get a trade and, things like that, because they have an interview and they ask what you want to do, and she said she wanted to do nursing. So they were like, oh yeah, we need nurses, and so they told her about that. So that's the thing. Like I told her, I said that's the thing you should be focusing on, not what some girl says about you, because I could give two shits. You should, at this point in the game, going forward, you should give two shits what anybody says about you, because you see where it gets you. So
Well,
anyway, Miss Tara,
Words only mean something if you allow them to mean something.
exactly.
that part.
If it don't, like they say, if it don't apply, let it fly.
That's what I told her.
That's right.
You're not what she's saying, so let that fly.
Go on with your
I
life,
mean,
honey.
if you say "fuck you" very much, I mean that could be a very big thank you. I mean, it's just all how
You
you
can
want
say
to make
whatever you want to
something
say
be.
about me, but
That's right.
you can say whatever. Because like I told her, I said at the end of the day, when you go lay your head down at night, who's taking care of that? Who makes sure you got the bed? Who that's who you should be thinking about. Me.
If you don't care about these people, then you shouldn't give two shits what comes out of their mouths.
Yeah. So I want to
Doesn't
teach her
matter.
self-care. And I told her, I said, it's a matter of self-care, because when you care about yourself, I said, Nevaeh, you can stand 10 toes down and tell a bitch, fuck you. Fuck everything about you. Okay. And that's on everything I love. Fuck everything that you say about me. Right. And I said, so I'm gonna start doing, the self-care with her, where we, do you know, and I said, learning how to take spiritual baths, learning how to care for yourself, learning how to tend to your emotional health, you know, things like that. So that is something that I'm going to do with all of them. We're just going to do we're just all going to sit and we're going to spend that time, whether we get a hotel room or whether we do it here. But it has to be, because this is the thing I told her. I said, I wish my mother would have sat down and gave me what I'm giving you. She was like, I just want you to parent me. I said, I am. Totally. 100%.
Yeah.
This is what I'm doing. I'm giving you discipline instruction.
Mhm.
So the Bible says to train up a child in the way they should go, that when they get older, they won't depart. I said, you will never depart from this right here. Never depart from this training. Never will you ever.
Right.
You know, and I said, it also says, spare the raw, spoil the child. I said, I have spared you so many times. I said, Nevaeh, and you have gotten so spoiled to where you think that I am supposed to get up and do
Mhm.
because you asked me to. I couldn't even go buy her a cake, y'all, because I had to pay $58 for medication because you made a choice. So, like I told her, your choices are not just costing you, but they're costing me.
Mhm.
Well, you don't have
Oh,
to pay for the
I would
ticket.
have said, well, that's your cake money. Well, here you go.
You don't have to pay for anything. You don't have to pay for my ticket. I said, who else is gonna pay for the ticket? You think Grandpa's gonna pay for that ticket? He ain't. Grandpa's not finna come out. No more money. And he said it. I'm not spoiling the bed. So I
So
said,
what'd you end up doing then?
I left, and then we're here, but me and Tiaria. So Tiaria's birthday was the first, the oldest one, and then Nevaeh's was on the 5th. And so she was like, "Mom, I just told her, like, you can wait. You know, we just wait. We're gonna do something for you." And so I said, "Well, you know, we'll come up with something and we'll do, you know, that. But
Mhm.
this, no, I
Mhm.
just can't see me rewarding you for your behavior and your actions,
Mhm.
you know." So
Mhm.
Tara gave us a scripture. I don't know. She said she was driving. So James 2:26, and it is the faith without works. So this is like faith in action. This was talking about Rahab. Um, so is, and then Message Bible goes, then the same with Rahab, the Jericho harlot. She was a Jericho harlot, y'all. Wasn't her actions in hiding God's spies and helping them escape that that seamless unity of believing and doing what counted with God. The very moment you separated body and spirit, you end up with a corpse. Separate faith and works, and you get the same things. And you get the same thing, a corpse. Make that make sense. Separate faith and works, and you get a corpse. Oh, I get it.
Death, rebirth, right?
No, if you separate faith and the works, you get a dead thing. It doesn't live.
Oh.
So when you die and you separate the spirit and the body, it dies. So right. So
Oh,
if you,
got it now.
that's what I
Okay.
said. I was just like, what? Why would you do that? Anyway.
I was like, what the hell?
So 2:26 says, as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead. So it's putting things to action. So we were talking about that in the beginning, where last week we talked about we got 5 months. Okay, so November, December, January, February, March. So we got 5 months to where things start to blossom. So March 2024, what is that going to look like for you? Because the seeds that we're planting right now are the things that are going to be growing in the springtime. So 21 through 24, what's up? When I'm done here, I will. Okay, so verses 21 through 24, it says, wasn't our ancestors Abraham made right by God by works when he placed his son Isaac on the sacrificial altar? Isn't it obvious that faith and works are yoked partners? Wow. That faith expresses itself in works, that the works are works of faith. The full meaning of believe in the scripture sentence, Abraham believed God and was set right with God, includes his action. Isn't that isn't that weave of believing and action and acting that got Abraham nicknamed God's friend? Isn't it not evident that a person is made right with God, not by a barren faith, but a faith fruitful in works, but by faith fruitful in works. So when we talked about last week doing the work, like we should, and I was telling him last week when we were in the group that we should at least have on the weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we should be pumping out, videos or doing something in the works for our businesses, for ourselves, for whatever the thing is that you want to grow in the beginning of March. So in March 2024, you should be doing something. So what is the seed that you're putting in the ground right now in order for that thing to grow in March 2024? So when we think about the faith part of it, it's the seed, but then we have to work the thing that it is. So I've heard this thing that says 80%, our success is 80% of what we think, and 20% of what we do. So 80% is our prayers, our meditation, our faith and action. And then the 20% is actually doing something. So say, for instance, you want to buy a house and 5 months from now, that's the thing that you want to do. So what is that 5 months going to look like? That's going to look like building up your credit. It's going to look like disputing things. Is going to look like sacrificing, going to lunch. It's going to be sacrificing doing certain things because you got to build your credit. It's going in and it's doing the work to make sure that this thing is taken care of. So then when we think about relationships, what does that look like? That means that I have to really get inside and say, what does it look like to have this, this healthy relationship, doing the inner work so that the outside starts to manifest itself. So it's like the thought process of what does it look like? How does it sound? How does it feel? So when we get into that, then that 20%, that seed, the action that we're taking is then, we're going out, we're meeting people, we're opening up to love. We're talking differently. We understand the self-love concept, and we are renewed every day. We're doing the work, we're doing the spiritual work, we're doing the inner work, so that when we get in these relationships, that thing will grow the way we want it to grow. So it's the thing that we see. So when we think about business, all right, so we know we have businesses that we want to run. Say you want to run a business. What does that look like? What are you doing? How do you see yourself in the business? How does it feel to have the business? What is the thing that you love about the business? You should be pumping out things. If you're doing it on TikTok, you should be pumping out those things on TikTok. And then, taking those action, that's 20% of the action, but 80% is your thought process. So what are you thinking? That's why he says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So whatever you think about, you bring about. It's the actions of that which you set within yourself. So 80% of what I'm thinking is manifesting itself in this world, right? So if I'm thinking negative thoughts about, well, my business is never going to be successful, or, there's so many people out there doing it. It's like, okay, well, there's, 100 chicken chains out there. We got a whole bunch of different chicken chains out here, but that's just what it is. So what? But what's going to make your business different than the other chicken chains? What's going to make your business or your relationship different than the average relationship that you've seen? What's going to make you, different in your business? What's going to make your garden of life different than the average, business, right? So that's that faith without works. So I like that. Separate your faith and your works, and it's dead. So there were some homework assignments that we were supposed to do that I never sent you guys, but I will be sending those, because I know that's one of the things that I'm working on is I'm working on doing the newsletter, doing the things that I know that I was supposed to be doing to make sure that we all get connected and we're doing the work, right? Because right now we're not doing the work. We're just sitting around. And I know for me, that's one of the things that I'm doing is I'm just kind of sitting around, just waiting for things to happen or, dealing with all of these other things and putting this thing above what I should be doing and not actually working. And then what happens with me, what I noticed is when all of these issues of life started happening, it just made me tired. And I was just like, I just want to go lay down. Let me just lay down. And I couldn't even focus on doing the newsletter because this was the thing. It was just always something. It was always the driving force, for me. And I couldn't focus on, what is the newsletter going to look like? What am I supposed to put in the newsletter? And I normally don't even question. I just write. Then I'm sitting and I'm like, okay. And then I'm worrying about a thing that really shouldn't take precedence, right? It should be a thing that I can naturally navigate through and be like, okay, I'm good, I'm okay. But I couldn't do it. And I just would want to go lay down, or I couldn't keep my focus on it. And then I started feeling like, well, who am I to be sitting out here writing a newsletter to people when my home is it's all messed up. But it's like, I have to be able to be the lesson and to be able to be the teacher, to say that I've gone through this, I've mastered this thing. And that was something that I told Nevaeh. I said, going to school is just teaching you the basics. It's just teaching you the general basics. When you get through college is something that's going to teach you how to master the thing that you've gone through basic training. I said, so it's like when a person goes through the Army, you're in the Army, but then you have to go through, then you start mastering, getting those stripes and those, those accolades and things like that, because you've mastered going, just the basic training. You've mastered knowing how to go underwater with the whole suit on and how to get out. You've mastered these things. And so when you start getting your stripes and you start getting your certifications, that's when you're saying, I'm the masters of, of arts, or I've mastered, the bachelor's of science. I've mastered, theology, or I've mastered it. You become the master. Life is our lessons. And I have mastered being a parent. Like I can say that I have like literally mastered being a parent. So, it's the thing that we mastering your emotions, understanding that we go through these things. We've all gone through this emotional upheaval. We've all gone through the crying spells. We've all gone through all of these things. But now, as a unit, as a whole, we can all say, listen, we've mastered this thing. We know what it's like. We know what it's like to have, messed up, crappy relationships. We know what it's like when we're out here doing our own thing and not, having faith in God and believing that he's going to do something for us. We know what it's like when we don't want to pray, but we're praying anyway. I know what that's like. Like I said, there are days when you be like, I don't even want to come here, God. But I know that if I don't do the work, and when the storms come, I won't be able to work the word into the situation. Right? So that's the working part of it. So James 2:26, I want to see what it takes me to in my other Bible. Anybody got something to say? No, nothing. Anybody want to add to it? No?
Chuck must be listening to you. He went to church today.
Uh-oh.
I about fell over.
Holy banana cakes, Chuck. Doesn't take me anywhere.
Yeah, he enjoyed it. I think he's going back.
Well, look at Chuck.
He asked me what my thoughts were about church.
I have my thoughts. That's for
so I don't know what he's trying to get at.
Yeah, well.
But hi, Tara.
Yeah, I told
Hi.
you rinse it out 10 minutes ago.
Huh?
So I was talking to my daughter. I had to wash her hair today. And all right, so it doesn't lead me to anything else when it talks about faith. It just gives me the faith without works is dead. But I was thinking that there would be another thing, but so it just leads me to the spirit of man. So let's go to 22:42. What does that lead me to? Okay, the spirit of man. But there is a spirit in man, and an inspiration of the Almighty giveth them understanding. The the spirit of man is a candle of the Lord, searching all the inward parts of the belly. Wow. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it is, and the spirit shall return to God who gave it. Acts 7:59. Is there such a thing? And the stoned Stephen, calling upon God, saying, Lord Jesus, receive my spirit. For which cause we faint not, but through our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed by day by day. For as the body without the spirit, faith without works is dead. So it's basically the inner parts of us, the inner workings. I was talking to a client today and I was telling her about that, where we, one of the things that what Spirit had told her is that we get into a space where we deceive ourselves because we don't act on the thing, or we don't believe that we are who, we know to be. And so for her, she's like very intuitive. Sorry, there's things just making noise over here. Very intuitive and very, very into spirituality. And so one of the things that came up in her reading was like the Seven of Swords. And so it's like this deceitful part of herself, like you deceive yourself. And so it's like the true essence of who you are. So when we think about faith without works in this setting for us is the true essence of who we are. We have to believe that we are who God said we are, so that we can act on faith and know and believe that the thing that's in us is going to be the thing that's going to come out of us, because that's the thing that we're working on. So knowing who we are in the spirit realm, knowing that we are powerful beings, knowing that we are creators, knowing that we are manifestors, knowing that we know how to work the word, because those are the things that we have learned throughout these 2 years, 2.5 years. Is it 2 or 3? Has it been 2 or 3 years, y'all? 2, 3, 2?
2.
2 years.
2.5.
2.5. 2.5, 3. I'm going 3. No, 2.5. So throughout this 2.5 years, we have learned a lot of things. And it's been at a pace where we have gotten the knowledge of who we are. And then we became these, we're launching out into the deep. We became the divas who launch. And then we got into 1180, where we started, going in and we destroyed the parts of us that we begin to heal so that we can grow. And then we'd have this infinite understanding and this infinite power. So now it's like with this faith without works, it's like God is telling us we know who we are. We have the understanding and that we are queens. Remember, we talked about being queens, where we sit on the throne. There are some things that I'm not going to come up off my throne for. So if I have to come up off the throne, that means now I have to take action. And it's not so much as pushing God out the way. It's just God saying, now we got to fight. One of the things that I've told, I spoke to my daughter about is not every battle not everything that happens warrants you to go to battle. Some things take care of itself. So when we think about the children of Jericho, when they marched around the mountain 7 times, all they did was scream, and all they did was not so much a scream, but they did the shout, and the walls came down. So it's a matter of understanding who we are, so that we understand that our faith without us doing any works is dead. It's like the faith in action. Do we believe that we are the queens that God has called us to be? Do we believe? And if we think about what Esther went through, she was a queen. But did you believe that you were the queen? And did you believe, Esther, that you were the one that came to save the people of Persia? Did you believe that? Because Mordecai had to tell her, he said, so please don't think that you're just in there just because you're pretty. There's a purpose in everything. So if we understand right now, understanding our purpose and understanding, our plan, and understanding that as a queen in our life, that there's a purpose in the things that we're going through. What is the purpose? Because then she said, all right, so now that I know this thing is happening, let me go and let me seek God, and I'm going to fast for 3 days. And everybody needs to do the same thing. It's like getting everybody in one accord, right? And then she went and did the action. And she went to the king and she said, if I perish, then I perish. Because I know that going before him, and he hasn't even called me, please, I know I'm setting myself up, right? So as queens, Going before God, God, if I perish, then let me perish. But I know that there's a purpose in the thing that I'm going through. Like there's got to be a strategy. The faith. Let me have faith. She took faith in 3 days to say, let me just go ahead and fast, you know, and then she took the action. The action was, let me go before the king. I have, because if I don't do this, not only do my people die, but because I'm a part of them, then I die. Because then he's going to find out that she's also a Persian and we got to kill her too. So it's the reminding you, like Mordecai, like the Mordecais in our life have to come and remind us, you do know that you're not just in this relationship just because it's pretty, right? You do know that you're not in this job because it looks great. You do know that you're not doing this thing just because it's all fluff and frill. There's a purpose in that. And so that's the freeing of the people. Don't think that you're in this job just because it's just, oh, it's easy. You know, Zakia, it's just because it just fell in my lap. Yeah, so did this job. So when it just comes so easy, you just like, because what just happened? Everything fell into place. Now I have to do the work. Now I have to go in here and I have to say, God, what is the purpose of this thing? What is the purpose of this job? What is the purpose of me being here in this present time? Because now I have to give that of myself to the people to free the people. Everybody needs a word. Everybody needs something from us. And especially as the queens that we are in the spirit realm, we have to know that our words are so powerful because of the things that we've learned. None of us should be sitting here without giving a word to somebody, without giving that word and freeing another soul. Like I told the lady today, that doesn't mean that we're just going out here willy-nilly like, girl, God told you know those people that be outside with the bullhorns and they be sitting out on the, just the Lord said you got to be free because they think they're doing a thing. No, it's the action of when I seen those two men that walked past me and I heard the sound of money and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm on company time. But I dare not do what God told me to do. And I went to them and I gave them the word. Those kind of things. When you sense in your spirit, you know what? And you feel like I'm going to sound so dumb by giving this word to this person, but I know what God told me to do. I have to give the word accordingly because that's one more chain from a person that has dropped. That's one more, thing that I feel like I've unbound them from. What was that scripture that we talked about when Jesus had spoke and he had said the prayer out loud when Lazarus was in the tomb? And he spoke out loud the prayer. He did the prayer out loud. We talked about prayer last week. And Jesus was standing at the tomb and he prayed aloud and he told the people, he said, I'm doing this prayer so the people can hear me so that they know that you sent me. That's what Jesus told them. All the people waiting, because, Mary and Martha was like, if you had came 3 days ago, he would have been alive, just if you had came. And Jesus said, hold up. Hold it down, sister. But he had to pray to God out loud. He told God, he said, God, I'm saying the prayer out loud. Remember we talked about prayer. Sometimes we have to pray in secret. Sometimes we have to pray in open so that people know that the power that you have in you, that when God, because he called me for this thing right here. He called me to be the intercessor. He called me to be the healer. He called me to be the woman that comes and gives and, is a giver. He called me to be this thing. So God, okay, so now I know I'm here. And so God, I'm going to go ahead and say this prayer out loud. And I just thank you. And because I want people to know that when I do this thing right here, when I do this miracle right here, everybody know that you sent me. And there should never be a question about who I am in this thing. So your faith is knowing that God has called me for a divine purpose. And there are going to be times that you're going to have to pray in secret. And then there are times that you're going to have to be in action and out in the world doing a thing, just like Jesus had taught the 12 disciples. All I want you to do is I'm going to teach you what to do. And then you just go out and give it to the world. And when you're done in every city, shake the dust off your feet and keep it pushing. Don't look back. Don't be like, well, they didn't even get that word. You know, that's the thing I do. God, I don't even know if they got anything. I don't know if I did the lesson properly. I don't know if they, if they've received anything. We've been doing this for a long time. God, I don't even know if there's a change. He said, listen, all you do is do this word and you log off and call it. Go ahead and call it. If you've done what I've told you to do in the surety of knowing that I give this word and God has given it to me and I teach that what I hear, call it. Go ahead and call it. Shake the dust off your feet and go ahead and go night night. Put your pajamas on and go bed. Right? That goes for all of us. When you go to your job, if he tells you to do a thing, do your job, shake the dust off your feet and be like, all right, I'm gonna see y'all later. Thank you very much. If that means you give a word to somebody, Tara, when you have to repossess a car, listen, this is just something God had to take from you. And I tell people this all the time. Maybe when I hear you talking, it's like, okay, so maybe this ain't the place for you to be in. Maybe God is shifting you from this place. He's got to move you from something. But you also got to learn the lesson on how to manage that what God gave you. And I'll tell people, sometimes I'm typing away and I just hear the message and I said, listen, I'm going to go ahead and give you this message and then we're going to get back to the call. And I just tell them, this is what God told me to tell you. You have to trust God. You have to trust that the path that you're on, that he's not going to waver. He's not going to leave you. He said, I'll never leave you nor forsake you. I got to give that word, right? It's hard for me to give the word to myself because, man, I promise you, this weekend was just like, oh, God. You said the trying of my faith worketh patience, but let patience have proof. God, I just pray for you. I'm lighting candles at the altar. I'm doing the incense, telling, and listen, I need y'all to help me. Because God, you said that if I call you and I ask for your help, you said you would help me because you said you want to help me. So I need you to help me with this, and I need you to do what needs to be done. I even said, God, if it is your will for this party to go forward, I said, God, then let it be. And I will take my hands off of it. But God, I cannot teach discipline if I don't do this thing. I said, God, and it was like, remember when we talked about Peter, the thorn in his side? God, whoo, this was the thorn that God, I don't really want to do this. I really don't want to hurt this girl. I don't want to feel like I'm hurting her. I don't want her to think that I don't like her. I don't want her to think that I don't love her. God, I don't want this. I don't want this feeling. But God counted all joy. And that's what Peter said. I counted all joy. I count it as there's a reason why. And I'm going to be thankful in this thing. Because guess what? When I think about it, I could have stopped something from happening to another person at my house. I could have stopped, an overdose. I could have stopped anything from deciding to make a conscious decision to say, no, we're not doing it. You know what I'm saying? Although it was hard. Woof. So this was like the lesson of when it seems hard, you got to still do it. And when we think about Jesus, remember when he was dying on the cross and he said, God, this cup, I don't need, just take the cup from me because I don't even want to do this. I didn't want to do it, y'all. It was like that part of me that rose up and I never had to deal with her before. It was like a woman that was just, I never had to deal with this part of myself. Never would I've ever, I just usually, like I told Gail, I usually just bend. I just be like, okay, whatever. Blah. But it was like that part of me that was like, no, you cannot keep letting them do and not have any repercussions for actions, period. And so doing that thing, and it's just like when we think about Jesus when he died on the cross. Listen, they forgive them because they don't even know what they're doing. But I know that I have to do this thing in order to get the keys to the kingdom so that I can give the keys to the kingdom so I can rip the veil so people can know that they can come directly to me. So it's like that moment in time that I was like, that part of me she grew up. She was just like, up, here we are. And now it was like a coming to myself, like meeting the true essence of Tarina, saying, listen, you have let so much go. And now you have to stand tall and you have to stand firm because your house was so weak. Was it built on a solid foundation? Yes, God is my friend. That is my solid foundation. But the structure, he said the structure was so weak because you allowed people to come in and build with the ideals and the ideology and the separating you from me. You trusted in them and you allowed them. He said, you allowed people to come and build this structure on a solid foundation, and you didn't think that it was going to crumble. Remember, he said, I'm the chief cornerstone. So it's like, I got to put God in everything, every part of my life, every part of the foundation. I have to put God in there.
Amen.
You know, so it's like we build our foundation. We all know the word. We all built in 2.5 years. We know what the word is. We know what it looks like. And he's told us, build this on this, because if you build it on sinking sand, that's why we feel like sometimes we're sinking, because we don't have faith in the word. We don't have faith in the thing that we can speak. Remember, queens, we just speak a thing and we just go over there and take care of, you know, the Israelites, or go take care of this person. And our army, our angels, our ancestors, they have to go and do it. But we don't even have faith in the thing that we're doing. We don't even have faith that we can speak to our business and tell it, listen, you finna create $10,000 income monthly. We don't even speak to our job and tell it, listen, we finna get raises and bonuses. We don't even speak to ourselves and tell ourselves, listen, we are loved, we are whole, we have wonderful, wholesome relationships. We don't even speak those things. We don't speak to our children and tell them, listen, you better line up and get everything in order. Every part of you get in order and know who I am, the authority part of me. We have lost, and this is this time frame that we're in, and this is one of the things I was telling my kids. Nowadays, if I was to put my hands on you, you could call CPS right fast, right now. Right? Now we can't discipline the way we want to discipline, because there's always someone to say something about the way we discipline. That's why here, I don't care what you say, you're going to do what I say. And for me, it was the lack of respect thereof, because just like I told her, I said, you know, God says obedience is better than sacrifice. You think about when Abraham was taking Isaac up to the mountain. What if he hadn't been obedient? I ain't taking this boy up to no mountain. God, you know, because you know how we are. We like, you told me to quit my job, right? Quit my job? What? And then we don't. And then what happens? We don't put ourselves at the altar. We don't put the job at the altar like Abraham put Isaac at the altar. We don't have faith enough to believe that, you know, God, I don't know what you finna do, but I got to have faith. And I'm going to take my job up to this mountain, and I'm going to do what you told me to do, and I'm going to put it at the altar. And then he was like, hey, because you had enough faith, you took faith in action. You had enough faith in God to take the action, to take your son, your job, your business, your relationship, you to the altar. Hey, there's a ram in the bush right there. Right? So we have to, faith without works is dead. Our soul separated from our body is just a corpse. It's just a dead thing. We can have all the faith in the world, but if we don't move and take action and be a Moses and be an Abraham, that it's for naught. Everything that we do is for naught. I had to have the faith. God, I know it was hard, y'all. And I don't, you know, my daughter said, I won't keep talking about it, but for me, it's the lesson in that thing. That was a hard thing to take her to the mountain like that. Oof. Oh, so hard, because, you know, I'm so used to just giving here, you know, okay, well, you know, we rhyme and reason. As we're going up the mountain, I'm rhyming and reasoning, and I don't even get her to the altar. I don't even get her to the place that he told me to kill that part of her. I didn't even get her there, because I'm just like, well, you know, we don't have to go that far. We don't have to go up the mountain that far. You know, you thirsty, you want to go get something to eat? And I'm turning around going back down the mountain. When he's like, listen, I done told you 50 million times. Okay, this is how you have to do this one. Them other ones we did, but this one, right? This what you got to do with this one. You got to take this one up here, and you got to really just sacrifice her, because this is the thing. I asked for her. I did. All the other ones I didn't know. That was just like, I'm what? But that one, God, I want her back because I got an abortion. I want her, give her back. Give me back my child. And he gave her back. And now that I have, he's like, now you got to take her up there because see, she finna get grown. So we got to take her and we got to kill that thing inside of her. And if you don't do it, if I had a gave in, because I know Tara was like, well, just go ahead and do the party. If you do it, just Zoom us so we can say happy birthday. I was like, absolutely not. Because then
I gave in too, Tara. I was like, she doing in that house. She can have that party. Get that baby that party. So I gave in too. We're the only one. I think she kind of snapped a little bit on chat. I kind of like, whoop.
And Quilla was like, just give her the party. Absolutely not. So it's that moment. So think about going up to the mountain and God's like, bring her up here and sacrifice her. And I was like, that's my baby. God, I can't eat all. And it wouldn't even be just her. All of them. Really, God, I got to take them up to you got to give them 5 months, 6 months. And you need to sit down and give them 6 months. They can't be here always, sis. They can't be in your tent all the time. You got to give them 6 months. And at 6 months, wherever they go, just know that I am now taking care of them because you gave them to me. And just like he said, as you're going up the mountain, there's a ram in the bush. You went up the mountain.
Give him back his key. Come on now. That's what I've been doing, giving him back his key.
Take them and give me and so it's like I don't even get up to the place where I can see the ram in the bush. Right? Because I'm not taking the action and faith and moving where he told me to move. But this one right here, man, this was a good word, Tara. This was like,
I was like, take no prisoners. Let's go. You got this.
Yeah. And it was hard. But you think about Abraham as he's going up the mountain. He had to tell them, he said, okay, y'all for this was y'all just go ahead and stay back. I got this now. Because now I have to have the faith that God, I'm doing the right thing, although it hurts me. Oh God, I'm gonna cry. But God, it hurts me. It hurts me. It hurts me, God, but I gotta go. And I had to tell y'all, okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Now y'all just stay back because now I gotta take her up here and I gotta sacrifice every part of her. Because if I do not, I don't know where she'll end up. I don't know what will happen to her. But it's the lesson in that thing, So that was hard. But it was when you think about Moses, because Abraham was taking all his people up there. He's like, come on here, come on, y'all, come walk with me. And they got halfway to a point, and that's when Abraham told him, he said, y'all just stay back. It's just going to be me and my son now. I got to take him up here, and I got to do what thus saith the Lord. Because here's the thing. They didn't even know why Abraham was going up the mountain. All they knew was there was going to be a sacrifice. And they looking at Abraham like, well, where's the calf? Yeah, can you imagine him like, well, where is the offering? Abraham, where is it at? Abraham's like, listen, we got to just come on, keep going. Not knowing that within himself, not knowing, they had no idea that he was doing what God told him to do. Take your son and go kill your son and give him back to me. Abraham's like, what? And this was the thing that Abraham probably said, I don't know why I keep talking about Moses, but Abraham said, now you came to my tent and you told me that my wife was going to have a baby. Now she took it upon herself and she went and gave birth to an Ishmael, right? But now here's an Isaac. And he came the way you said he was going to come. And now you want me to kill the very thing that you promised me? What? You want me to give up Yahya Yummy? You want me to take Yah to the altar? You want me to take Chuck to the altar, God? I love that man too much. Because we don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if he's going to die. I don't know what's going to happen. But you want me to take Chuck to the altar? You want me to take my kids to the altar? You want me to take me To the altar, God? Really? Oh. And I got to sacrifice me. I got to sacrifice my business. I got to sacrifice my children. I got to sacrifice my job. I got to sacrifice my relationship. Really, God? But there's that James 2:26. Your faith outside of the works is a dead thing. It don't mean nothing to God. Give me back that which I gave you, that which I promised you. And I promise you, Isaac is finna be great. You think Ishmael gonna be something. Isaac is finna be the bomb. Yummy's finna be great. Zakiya is finna come out and she's finna be just like a golden flower. Chuck's, your relationship with Chuck is finna be just, oh, it's gonna be beautiful. The relationship with your children is gonna be magnanimous. Your job, the thing that you get, give it to me. And I promise you, everything's gonna come out golden. It's tough. This right here, I ain't never been through nothing that felt this way right here. This was the toughest. And I'm crying because God, I made it. Y'all have no idea the pain. And it was just like I just felt, and I tried to turn the phone down so I wouldn't hear the kid. They was coming. The people was coming to the house. Oh, they was showing up, y'all. And I could just imagine how she was feeling. Her reputation's on the line now. My mama got me out here looking stupid because I done said I was gonna have a party and the party didn't even take place. Now my name is tarnished. You know, no, what they get to see is they get to see a girl who went through and died to herself, but came out on the other side, an 18-year-old woman who understands discipline and structure. And like I told her, if I hated you, Nevaeh, I wouldn't even talk to you. You can be out here doing whatever the fuck you wanted to do. You can have 10 babies and I wouldn't have cared, right? But because I care, that's me guiding you on this journey. That's why God says, trust in me with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding, but all your ways acknowledge me and I'll direct your path. Abraham, trust me. Don't lean to anything that you see because, man, this is God. You want me to take the baby that you said you was going to give? You gave me? You gave me Isaac? Now I got to kill him? Oh, but just go on up the mountain, Isaac. Just go on up and I'll direct your path and I'm going to show you there's a ram in the bush. Now, I don't know what my ram in the bush is, y'all. I don't know. But I will tell you, this was the hardest thing for me as a parent and as a woman of faith to trust God, that God, you're going to help me do the right thing. I don't know how this is going to turn out. I don't know anything because she was talking about she's going to run away. No, you ain't. You're going to go right in that house. I said, you finna go in that house and you finna go sit down. Okay. Because I said, what you going to get out in there? You ain't going to get nothing. You ain't going to have no place to sleep. You ain't going to have no place to go to the bathroom. You ain't going to have nothing. Go in there and sit down and think about these things. Okay. That's it. And it was like that moment of discipline and structure. It wasn't just for her, but it was for me. Teaching me how to be the queen that says no. Because if you look at it, how we operate, all of these things get to come into our kingdom and into our throne room, and they just get to run amok, and they just get to tell us what we gonna do, and like what you think you finna operate in here? No. That was the biggest lesson that I can give to anybody else. You have to do it, and even though it's gonna hurt you, baby. When I tell you, I could tell you how Abraham was feeling taking his only son, the chosen son, up to the mountain because God said, go sacrifice your son. You like, what? Can you imagine Abraham waking up like, what? Isaac? You want me? Okay. Thank you. That's your mom's box. Why didn't you take it to your mom? This is your mom's. Oh, okay, whatever. So she just gets to tell everybody what to do. Anyway, so that nothing. So that's that faith in action. You think about Abraham and how he had to sacrifice. That is a testament in itself. So I know exactly how Abraham felt taking his little baby boy up to that mountain with a knife in hand and the tribe behind him. And then you got to leave the tribe. I had to leave y'all like, okay, God, that's enough. I got it. I got it. And so now I got to go and do this thing. And I have to do what God told me to do. Y'all, I promise you, I was like, can't listen. The candle is gone because I had candles. I was burning incense. I was, God, oh God, just, and within myself, I was torn up. But it was the old part of me that was so used to, if you think about Abraham, the old part of him, so used to seeing this little boy just running around doing whatever. He thinking, now you want me to what? You want me to give up Chuck for real? You want me to tell this man no? But it taught him something and it taught you something. You want me to leave Yaya Yummy to do what? But it taught you something, right? It's teaching you how to structure and how to do what God said to do. You want me to leave this job, God, what? You don't want me to have this third job? No, absolutely not. Okay. It's teaching you. Don't overexert yourself to try. For the love of money is the root of all evil. God will give us everything. He said, I will supply your needs according to his riches and glory by Christ Jesus. I will give you everything that you need if you just trust in the Lord with all your heart and don't lean to that which you understand, but acknowledge me and I'll tell you what to do. He gave us that on Wednesday night. He said, all you got to do is call me. He said, because I'll help you. If you don't know what you're doing, ask me. I want to help you. God, I don't know how to run Yaya Yummy. I don't know how to handle Chuck. God, I don't know how to handle this. I don't know how to handle my daughter. God, I don't know how to handle, these situations. God, I don't know how to handle my finances. God, I don't know how to, and he said, I'm gonna help you. But you got to be able to listen to the voice when he tells you to go on and take Yaya Yummy and just put her at the altar. And then let me take care of the thing that needs to be taken care of. Go ahead and put Chuck at the altar. And then let me take care of you while he's sitting at the altar and while I'm working on him. Because it's not so much, go ahead and put Nevaeh at the altar. Go ahead and put all your children. Give me all of them. Don't just give me one of them. Give me all of them. Put them all at the altar and let me handle that. Because now, remember when we talked about Peter with the thorn in his side. Remember, Peter said, he said, it's an inner, I got to show you how you handle these situations. Yee. When your children is acting crazy, that's the thorn in your side. Because now I got to show you how you maneuver in the situation. I got to show you how you act in it. When Chuck, acts a fool, now I got to show you how you act in these situations. I got to show you how you handle these things. When Albert started talking out his face, excuse me, right? You get all like, uh-oh, I got to show you. I got to put the thorn in your side so I can show you how you deal with it, how it makes you feel. If I keep pushing the thorn inside, now I got to show you this is how you act in that. Do you just allow the pain to be? Or do you say, that don't make me feel good. I don't like the way that makes me feel, right? You want to get a third job, a third one? Really? I know he was like a third. So job number 3, huh? Let me go ahead and just scratch that. Because it's the thorn in your side. It's showing you who you really are, especially in God. Especially in him. We think about Abraham. Abraham's like, and I could have just imagined him. Like, what? You want me to take my son and then go up here and do all these things? I mean, if they would have given the rhetoric that we give God back, the non-action, the non-movement, but the thorn in our side, God had to help me handle this. That's why Peter said, I count it all joy when things like this arise, because I know that God is dealing with me so that I can handle that. When the issues come of life, when they just start coming at us, God, I need your help. That's why he said, call unto me and I'll answer you. And I'm going to show you some great and unsearchable things you didn't even know. Call me and I'll answer. I promise you, I'm going to answer you. But you have to trust me. And all I keep hearing is that scripture, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, lean not to thine own understanding, but in all thy ways acknowledge me. And I'm going to tell you which way to go. I'm going to tell you what to do. I'm going to tell you how to handle Chuck. I'm going to tell you how to handle your daughters. I'm going to tell you how to survive on one income. I'm going to show you how to deal with what you got to deal with. I'm going to show you how to do self-care and love yourself. I'm going to show you how to run a business. I'm going to show you how to do all of that. But we lean to that which we understand, that which we know. Well, I just know how to give in, God. I just know how to just, be, I see the face and then I just want to be like, okay, well, I'll just give in and I'll just, no matter how relentless she is, God, I'm just going to go ahead and let her have it. Let me just let her have this little party. And then, then we could just go on with our lives. The Bible says, don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow takes care of itself. What you worried about tomorrow for? That's going to take care of itself. Because what you're telling me is that you don't trust me. You don't trust that I'm going to handle this situation, so you won't even give it to me. That's the thing. You don't even have enough faith to even just trust to walk up the mountain, to even think to give me the thing that you got going on. Why won't you trust me to give me me? Why won't you trust me to give me yourself? Why won't you trust me to give you your relationship? Why won't you trust me to give me your income? Why don't you trust me? Because I just do what I know to do, God, and I know how to handle it on my own. So I think, like Dr. Phil said, how's that working for you? It wasn't. It's not working for you. You sitting up here broke, wondering why. Well, I don't know. Well, I'm trying to tell you what to do, but you're not listening to me. I'm telling you what to do. Just take the leap of faith. Just go. That's action in itself. Trusting in God. That God, this business is going to work. My relationship is going to be beautiful. It's going to be superb. But as I'm scaling this mountain to give you that which you've given to me, that which you promised me, I pray that there's a ram in the bush somewhere. Okay. Anybody got anything to add, subtract, multiply? Anybody? No?
What?
Huh?
So everyone's quiet.
Yeah. Yeah. Zakia might be asleep, knowing her.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I heard her snore.
Uh-oh.
That might have been me. I'm just relaxed. I'm thinking about homework that you're going to provide.
Well, I am. And it's going to be all of the things that that we haven't done, that I haven't given. But when we think about Abraham and what he had to do with Isaac, it is the moment of time where Moses, Abraham, why am I keep talking about Moses? What is going on? I don't know. I'll have to think about that one. But anyway, when we think about Abraham, for me, I understand what it means to sacrifice, right? That obedience is better to be obedient than to sacrifice, letting you do that which you think you want to do. It was better for me to sacrifice, to be obedient to that which I know who I am as the queen, as the head of the household. Okay. So knowing who I am, that is where I had to get to. It was like, who are you? Are you the parent or are you the child? Who's running this whole operation? If we think about a business, am I the CEO or am I just a worker? Because who's the head? So I had to really put myself back in perspective. Who am I in this family? Then it's, what is my purpose in this family? What is the purpose in this life? What am I here to learn? And that was my question. God, what do I need to learn in this? And I sat out in the car with my daughter's dad, and I said, I need to learn to let my yes be yes and my no be no, and be stern with it, and not bend, and not, give grace, and not allow, but just allow it to be. So understanding my purpose. And do I know who God sees me as? And how do I become that woman that I've seen, or that he sees? And then having the interview with yourself. How did you get here? What did it take to get here? So having that interview with myself, that's me asking myself, girl, how did it make you feel to know that you had to tell the one child that you asked for that no, they could not do a thing that they wanted to do? How did it make you feel? How did it make you feel, Tara, when you left one part of Ya Ya Yummy behind, and now here you are in this new thing, and now on top of that, there's another relationship that is so beautiful that you just like, I don't even know how to handle this. This is something else, right?
Exactly.
This is something else, where he says, you know what? Let's go ahead and do A, B, C, and D. I'm gonna help you. You don't have to do this by yourself. You don't have to get in that kitchen, girl, by yourself. I'm gonna go ahead and do this, where you can combine the recipes and make it something so beautiful, right? Even with Gail, like, Gail, how did it make you feel when you had? I mean, because we know how Gail felt. Gail was, whoo. But you think about how you felt when you knew that I got to do this thing. In order to make it better, I have to do this thing. In order for a person to see the true authenticity of who I am, I got to do this thing. And I got to tell you, no, sir. And I don't care if it takes 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, a year. I don't care. But at least I can stand firm and say, you know what? I had to do it. Right?
Yeah, my theory about that is that it is in the best interest of that other party. It's not about me. It wasn't about really you. It was about your daughter. And if you didn't do this, what was going to happen? What would be the future? How would that look? Right.
Yeah.
And, when my husband, all the tough love that that I went through with my husband, it's just, sometimes you have to close that emotion down and make the logical decision, because this can't handle it.
The heart can't handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's where the Queen of Logic has to come in.
Absolutely.
Swords, right? Queen of
Right.
Swords
Right.
comes in, and she's like, okay, I got to take over.
Right.
And by the time you were through that, you were talking about queen, and I'm thinking, no, this is more empress attitude here. Because once you get into and make that decision, then you can pull all those queens in, right? The empress is a combination of all the queens together.
I love
and
that.
that's where we want to get to, is that empress attitude. And sometimes you have to remove other queens because you got to focus on one, so you can move into the next one and the next one and the next one.
Yeah, because when you think about an empress rules a region, where a queen only rules a kingdom. I like that, Gail. Look at you.
I've been doing my homework.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, because if you think about the emperor and the empress,
they're rulers.
They're higher than the kings and the queens, right?
Yes.
And so they have to have a little bit of each type of king, each type of queen. And that should be, that's balance. That's balance. That's
when
your
you
total
yes, I love that.
balance.
Because as soon as you get to the empress, it's like everything is my thoughts, my logic, my heart, the cups, the swords, which are, I mean, the wands, which are action. And then we have, which one is it? It's the cups. which is the nurturing part of me. All of those things
Yeah.
combined makes me this solid, quantified person.
See, now today, after you've been through this, you have a new light about why you did that, right?
Yeah.
These are the reasons why you had to go through that. And that was to, you have another daughter to think about in the future, that if you let her ride on this, then what is your younger daughter going to think about that? What is she going to take advantage of? This is going to teach her some things that she's going to be able to look back on and say, that's not going to fly.
Yeah.
You
And I
know, she
really
has
think
higher
all of them,
expectations for us.
yeah,
Yeah.
all of them, I really think, because it's so, now that you're kind of putting that into perspective, it's like all of them are here and
Mhm.
all of them got to see, oh, wow, she ain't playing. She was
Mm-mm.
very serious, because
Yeah.
usually she bends.
Yeah.
Usually the Queen of Cups comes out and she's just like, oh my God, okay, we just gonna. Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes when we need to close this down,
Mhm.
we need to bring in the Queen of Swords,
Yeah.
because she's the tough bird, man.
Listen, when
She'll
she
make
say a
those hard
thing,
decisions. Yep.
like Evelyn Lozado said, I said what I said. Okay. And that's it.
Yep. And then she's gonna go grab the Queen of, not Pentacles,
Oh,
the other one.
the Queen of Sword Wands.
Wands, yeah, because Wands is like, let's go. Let's get into action.
Absolutely.
You know?
I love that.
So, you know, and once you get there, you know, that Queen of Pentacles, then you can see what develops from that.
Yeah.
And that kind of brings some of the grounding, starts together and pulls everything in. I feel like the Queen of, yeah, I feel like the Queen of Pentacles is very close to the Empress, but she can get a little, if she doesn't have the help from the others. But
Right.
that's where I think, you know, we try to be, but sometimes you have to dismantle.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to do things in segments. And
So what I just heard from myself was I allowed the Queen of Cups to rule all the time. She just ruled because she's the nurturer. She's like, there was never any aspects of the wands, the swords, or the pentacle. None of those came into play for me. It was always the Queen of Cups.
That's why I called you up and said, come on, you're the Scorpio, come on. You know, because I knew this thing was very hard for you. And I've been down this road before. Tough love is something I'm very used to. And I know what the outcome can be on the other side of it. It can be very, but it's ugly and it's painful to go through it, because you're the one administering it.
Yeah.
And it's not fun. But you did it. And I'm so proud of you for doing that.
Thank you. Thanks. If it wasn't for y'all going up this mountain with me, whoo. Oh, Lord, have mercy.
It was a tough one, and you're going to have more tough ones. But
now I know that I'll be okay. Do you know what I'm saying? Because usually it's like, so, you know, TikTok has those, what do you call those little things that says, you know, what is your, and so one of them said, you don't deal with confrontation. And I just was like, oh, which is true. And so the oldest one said, you don't deal with it because you just know that there's going to be a fight in that. And I don't want to argue. And she said, so rather than argue, you just let it be. And I said, now I got to fight, because if I don't fight, then you're just going to keep doing, you know?
Yeah, she's asking you to be the parent.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what
But so you are being the parent, and that's, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, if I look at a good example of parenting, I think, and I told Tara this last night, is that, you know, coming out the gate, she's a very solid, nurturing mother. And she has this calmness about her that, I wish I would had half of what she has in calm to be able to, I think things would have been a lot different, like in my parenting
That's the
coming
mother
up.
you would be scared of. I would be scared of the calm mom. I would
Nah,
really be
no,
scared of her.
she's the one that I'm not scared of people that are going to, she has a way of explaining things. By the time she's said and done, you're going to grasp onto what Tara has to say because you just pull it all in. And I, I know how she is with her kids, and they're very protective of her.
Mm-hmm.
And they put her up here, and that's because of the nurturing that she provides and the calmness. Me, I'm like, this is how it's got to be if we're gonna survive, but
Yeah.
we all have different queens in us, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I
And
love how
not,
you're doing that. Like, I love that you're bringing that out and making it where we know, like, like I said, the queens, but now we have to like assimilate all of them to become the empress.
yeah, and it takes a while. I mean, I can tell you there's not been very often that I've probably been an empress. I think it takes a lot to get to that empress, It's really got to be a very well-rounded balance of things. But there are empress moments, and and those are the things that
The Empress
I feel,
moments.
I love
yeah,
that, the empress moments.
yeah, I don't think you can be a 24/7 empress by any means. But when we get one, my God, take that win, get that Empress moment, and here's your Empress crown or whatever we need to give you because you earned that, right?
Absolutely
So
did.
I know that I'm more probably like a Queen of Swords type of queen.
Mm-hmm.
Tara, what queen do you think you are?
I don't know them like you guys. So like I don't know I don't know all the attributes of each queen except when
I
y'all
would
explain.
I would
I
say
think you're
you're
too.
the queen of, I'm going to say it, and if I'm right. So I want to say Tara is the queen of hearts, and she is the queen of swords. Yes?
I think she's more Queen of Wands.
Action, movement. Yes,
It,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think you are um definitely your first is Queen of Wands. I think for you, that entrepreneurial, the take action, be on top of things, that type of thing. And then you, on the other side of it, also have that the Queen of Cups.
Yeah.
I think you two are a little reversed in that, but you both have that. You both have that entrepreneurial, you know, aspect to you. I think I do. I think if I had to pick my other one, it would be Queen of Hearts as well, but I am really a Queens of Swords person. Zakia, she is definitely Queen of Wands, Queen of Swords, I think, because just I say that by what I know of her parenting and what she does and the way she gets down and grinds with the work, but I think it would be interesting to hear about, Tara, I think you've had the way you have been standing up in this separation. I think you, when you laid down the law and said, I'm not taking this anymore, that was a very Empress moment for you, and So I think we should start looking at those little things.
What about
those
Tangela?
things.
I think Tangela is the Queen of Wands because she's always, in working. She's always doing something. So I know she's a Queen of Wands.
And also the type of work she does is she's Queen of Hearts, right?
Queen of Cups. I don't know what we call
Doesn't
it.
she work in the hospital?
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah.
Queen of Cups, that taking nurturing side of her.
Yeah.
So, the Pentacles things, I mean, none of us are rich, right? I mean,
but Pentacles are grounded. So I think we all have the attribute of being grounded and knowing our worth and knowing who we are.
Right. And abundance. And
we may not be abundant in the financial part of it, but we are abundant in intelligence, spirituality, mental, emotional. So we're just getting to the wealth part of it. And really, when we think about what God said, you don't have to have the riches. It's having all of those attributes. That's what makes you wealthy. Because that's what he says, then your gifts make room for you. So when we think about all the attributes of the queens, that's the one thing that our gifts start to make room for us. Because when we think about how you do, you're very strategic. You get us to a point of reasoning. Like you helped me. I was like, she is absolutely correct. And it kind of like you talked me off the ledge. Like you were just like, come on now. Let's just get your thoughts together. And because I was more in the Queen of Cups moment, I was just like, oh my God, la, la, la. And then you came in and were like, and you called me. And it was just the voice. And you were just like, listen, I need you to get it together because this is who you are. And you got to listen. You're going to have to do what you got to do. And this is what it is. So it's like you're the person that comes in, the reasoning mind that says, listen, put the cup down. That's kind of how you did it. Put the cup down.
Yep.
And let's do the wands. Put the cup down and pick up the wand. Put the cup down and pick up the wand. That's how it was. And so then it was like all of you just came in. It was like this moment of, no, we're not using that. We're going to use this and don't do this and don't do that. So you are that person that brings in that balance to a person. You make us really kind of sit and be like, oh, you know what? She's right. I should be, so that I like that about you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I try to be that way because I could feel it with you. I could feel it.
Try, you do it. And I don't think, and when we think about the pentacle, the knowing who we are and how we add value to each other, that is one of the things that you add value to us. You're the person that just like, you won't do it in a group setting. You just pull us to the side and be like, hey, come here, listen, put the cup down and I'm gonna need you to get it together. And that was the tone that I got. Put that down and I'm gonna need you to get it together. I need you just to listen. I need you to focus because it was like this battle's taking place. And it's just like, look, and you're just like, hey, look at me. And I need you to focus and I need you to hear what I'm gonna tell you. Is it gonna hurt you? Absolutely. But you got to do what you got to do. Right. So it's that moment. Hi. So it's that moment of you are like the negotiator. Whoa.
Done a bit of that in my day.
Yeah.
So
get off the ledge, girl. What are you on the ledge for? What you crying for? Get off the ledge and come here. That's exactly how your tone is just like, get off the ledge and just come down here and talk to me because obviously you're just, you're in this kerfuffle. Let's get out of it. So that I like about you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, all hearts and minds clear. Listen, did y'all know that it was daylight savings time? Didn't know it till I woke up this morning. Was like, it's 8 o'clock. No, no, it's 7. Little baby cakes. I was like, it's 7? We got a whole, oh God. Greatest feeling ever. So hope y'all
I had to tell Chuck, listen, you get an extra hour. Quit complaining. I'll be up to 2:30 every morning for the next 4 months. And I'm like, oh my God, you're so
And then
strange.
it's time to move forward. You're just like, God, I just got used to this sleeping in. Get my full extra hour. Yeah, by the time
you open your eyes and it's still dark out, I'm like, oh, I got more time. Not this morning. I was like, oh geez, time to wake up.
Yeah, I woke up and was like, He said, did you know it was day? He said, I looked at my phone and my phone said 7. No, he said, my phone said 7. He said, but I went in the kitchen and the microwave said 8. I said, what? And he
There's
was
a
like,
TikTok about it.
I was like, it's day. We missed I said, I missed the news and everything.
With the guy who came out, it was 4:59 and at 5 o'clock it went dark. It's hilarious.
Oh God.
There's a TikTok some guy made about bitching about the microwave. Why can't it reset itself too? Come on. Shit, you've been around since 1970. What? Blah, blah. Get it together. Let's go.
Oh God, that is
I tried to
hilarious.
change mine. I can't get mine to change.
Your
They
clock?
don't.
Yeah, I hit clock. I set it, and then it went right back to the 9. I mean, it was later. I was like, why is it not changing?
Oh, on your microwave?
Yeah, the microwave won't set.
Oh, mine has never changed. I always had to set
them
it.
clocks on the wall, I don't pull them down to change the time. I just leave it the way it is. I just leave the time, and then I know we are an hour behind this, or it's not 6, it's 5. So I don't even touch them clocks no more. I don't do it. If it changes automatically, we good. But at any other point, I'm not even finna fool with it. I'm not finna do it. I'm not finna fool with it at all.
No, I wanted to tell you what I told Gail. I didn't tell you, Tarina. So Friday, I got written up.
Uh-oh.
And just out the blue. I said, oh, ain't this something?
What we get written up for?
We have these things called updates. And mind you, I have over 200 accounts. And the girls used to help do the updates because there's so many accounts and they're always constantly coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was told that I have to make sure they're done every day.
Oh,
so I'm like, oh,
okay. Thanks for the heads up. Thank you for telling me the thing that I should have done. Listen, I get on my people at my job too, because I was like, so at my face is like, so when were we supposed to know that we had to now go in and put in okay, so when we do a referral, like we get the referral, and so then we have to, like sometimes we get the rental assistance. And so in that, we have to fill out all this paperwork, we got to get all these documents, and we got to do this. So now we have to now document their income. It's called the AMI, the average median income. And I'm looking at her like, so what? Now I've been doing this job since April of 2023. And even when I started, I was doing y'all's work. So I'm putting in the stuff. Nowhere in there did y'all ever say, make sure that they have the number of people in the household and their average median income. Nowhere. And now here we are. And I'm looking at the screen like, so when did we know that? When were we supposed to know that? So I just be like, whatever. I just go on and I said, God, let me learn what I need to learn. And help me do this job. Every day I pray, God, just help me be the best family resource navigator out there. Let me do this job efficiently, accordingly, and let me get these done, and let me move on. And let me take the criticism or the construction, and it's not even constructive criticism. Let me just take I call it constructive feedback, so that I can do this job better and better day by day.
I think for Tara, though, this is God giving her a hint.
Like
that
it's
time
for you.
You're supposed to be doing something a lot more fun than what you're doing now.
You're supposed to be in here. We're gonna whisper it. You're supposed to be in the kitchen cooking. You're supposed to be creating an ebook. You're supposed to be using your gifts and talents for the people. I don't know why she's at this job. This is your angels. I don't know why she's at this job, but we're just gonna okay. So now we're gonna write her up. Let's call her right up, because I promise you, it happened.
And she's gonna walk out the door, and it's gonna go, oh,
the sun is gonna shine.
And dude, they're gonna be singing. The angels are gonna be singing. It's like
happy because she decided to do on. Yeah, you better get it together. You got 5 months. Okay, just like I told you about Keith Lee, you got 5 months. 5 whole months. And even with him doing what he's doing, he said, listen, yeah, did you see that TikTok where he told him, he's like, y'all want me to come and do an honors review? I do the honors review, y'all still come for me. If I don't do an honor, he said, if I do it, and then you always think that I'm giving, high reviews, then you think I'm playing. I can't win for losing. He said, but I know I'm going to keep doing what God told me to do. He said, I'm just a vessel. And that's it. He said, y'all have a good day, and may y'all bless. And he came back, he was like, and so y'all going after people. He said, for a place that you probably ain't even been to. And got out of his car. So you better do yummy. And go on, get your book, go on and have your son, and you better get production. You better start sowing the seed and getting in faith. Now you're going to give James 2:26. I'm going to need you to live by James 2:26. Your faith without your works is just a dead corpse. It is just lying there dead. So like Elisha, will these bones live?
I think there's something around the corner. I don't think it's going to be very long. That's my feeling about it.
You know, when he asked Elisha, will these bones live? Now, remember, your faith without your works is a dead thing. Now, he's looking at the bones saying, is Yummy going to live? And Elisha said, well, God, only you know. He said, well, you speak to the bones and watch what happens. So you better speak to Yummy. Speak to that thing. That's why he says, speak those things that be not as though they were. You better speak to them bones of Yummy and tell them you get up and you do what needs to be done. I don't even know what Elijah spoke, but we're going to look that up. What did Elijah speak? What did he even give us the verbiage that Elijah spoke to the bones? But he told God, so. God, you know.
Yeah, he did.
So
well, we got Quilla to finally respond.
I know. She was like, girl, just let her have that party. No.
I was like, Quilla.
I will not.
She said, let her have the party, but don't let her participate. And I'm like, how the hell does that work?
I thought that too. I was like, well, how do you do that?
Like,
I know, let the people just come and then send her to her room.
Just like, look, can't touch, can't say nothing. You
can't
just
interact.
Have to you just got to sit there and look pretty.
She was trying to get hair done, nails done. She was trying to do it all. And I'm just like, what are you talking about?
You got to give it to her, though. I mean, my God, that is, if she wants something, she's going to be great in life. If she wants something, she is going to be able to hit every avenue. There is going to be no stone left unturned by the time that gal gets what she wants in life. So,
listen, and that's the lesson I'm going to give her. You are very tenacious. When you want something, you will go for it. And that's really with all my kids.
So I tell her, she goes, she's cleaning the house. I go, well, you have to clean house. There you go. I mean, what the hell? I mean, that's a perk, right?
I mean,
yeah.
When I say it was all of the above. I thought, well, Jesus. I think it was Ezekiel when he asked him, will these bones live? So that is my error. It's called the breath of life. So when we know, I don't know why we get back into this, but anyway, the breath of life, when we think about God, the word of God is just the breath of God, the breath that he speaks into a thing. Because remember, he spoke into Adam and he created Adam out of breath. Oof, he just blew into Adam, Adam became, right? So when we think about the bones and you speak the breath of life to the thing, Chuck, Yummy, For Real Ministries, the t-shirts, the children, the jobs, for Tangela. It's like you speak to that thing and you bring life to it. So it says, God grabbed me. God's spirit took me up and set me down in the middle of an open plain strewn with bones. He led me around and among them, a lot of bones. There were bones all over the plain, dry bones, bleached by the sun. And he said to me, Son of man, can these bones live? And he said, Master God, only you know that. And he said to me, prophesy, my God.
That's the word, prophesy.
Over these bones, dry bones, listen to the message of God, Tara. God, the master, told the dry bones, watch this. I'm bringing the breath of life to you, and you'll come to life. I'll attach sinews to you, put meat on your bones, cover you with skin, the breath of life into you. You'll come alive and you'll realize that I am God. Come on here, God, with this word for us tonight. I prophesied just as I had been commanded. Now remember, faith without works. Abraham, going up to that mountain. But he said, I prophesied just as I had been commanded. As I prophesied, there was a sound. Oh, wrestling. The bones moved and came together, bone to bone. I kept watching sinews form, then muscles on the bones. Boy, God, I thank you for this word. Then stretched over them, but they had no breath in them. And he said to me, prophesy to the breath. Prophesy, son of man, tell the breath. God, the master says, come from the four winds, come breath, breathe on these slain bodies, breathe life. So I prophesied just as he commanded me. The breath entered into, and they came alive. They stood up on their feet, a huge army. Then God said to me, son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Listen to what they are saying. Our bones are dried up. Our hope is gone. There's nothing left of us. Therefore, prophesy. Tell them, God the Master says, I'll dig up your graves and bring you out alive. Oh, my people, I'll take you straight to the land of Israel. When I dig up graves and bring you out as my people, you'll realize that I am God. I'll breathe my life into you and you'll live. Then I'll lead you straight back to your land and you'll realize that I am God. I've said it, and I'll do it. God's decree. My God.
That was good.
You better speak to them dry bones. Then he said, take a stick and write on it for Judah with his Israelite companions. Then take another stick and write at it for Joseph, Ephraim's stick. Take together with all the Israelite companions. Then tie the two sticks together so that they are holding one stick. Yeah, you better get it. I'm not even going to finish this whole message. But that is what it is. It's the breath of life. Speak to it. He says, well, I guess I'm going to have to read it. He says, when your people ask you, are you going to tell us what you are doing? Tell them, God, the master says, watch me. I'll take the Joseph stick that is in Ephraim's hand when the tribe of Israel connected with him and lay Judah's stick on it. I'll make them into one stick, holding one stick. Then take the sticks you have inscribed and hold them up so the people can see them. Tell them, God, the master says, watch me. I am taking the Israelites out of the nation in which they've been exiled. I'll gather them from all directions and bring them back home. I'll make them one nation in the land on a mountain of Israel and give them one king over all of them. Never again will they be divided into two nations, two kingdoms. Never again will they pollute their lives with their no God idols and all those vile obscenities and rebellions. I'll save them out of their old sinful haunts. I'll clean them up. They'll be my people. I'll be their God. My servant David will be king over them. They will be under one shepherd. They'll follow my laws and keep my statutes. They'll live in the same land that I give my servant Jacob, the land where your ancestors live. They and their children and their grandchildren will live there forever. My servant David will be the prince forever. I I'll make a covenant of peace with them that will hold everything together, the everlasting covenant. I'll make them secure and place my holy place of worship in the center of their lives forever. I'll live right there with them. I'll be their God. They'll be my people. The nations will realize that I, God, make Israel holy when my holy place of worship is established at the center of their lives forever. Basically, Tara, he's saying to you, will this thing live? And it's saying to all of us, the thing that I gave you, are these bones going to live? Because right now it's dead. It's a dead thing. But I give you the prophecy to prophesy over the thing, to tell it to live, put things back together again. He put bone in bone, sinew, flesh. And then he said, now breathe into it. Tell, and he says, not even breathe into it. He said, tell the breath of life from the four corners of the world to come and breathe into it so that it lives again and it becomes the army that everybody knows that God is in this thing. God is in Yaya Yummy. God is in all of the things that we put together. He's in our relationships. He's in our finances. He's in everything. But you got to tell it. You got to put it together, God. Tell the dryness of my finances. We needed to grow, and we needed to put it together. So that is your message, and that is our message for tonight. Get some sticks. I don't know what them sticks represent, but get some sticks and write on them sticks. Remember, we think about Moses. Ah, there's Moses. And the rod. What's in your hand, Tara? What's in your hand? Take it and write on the stick. Yaya Yummy. Take it and write on the stick. Whatever it is, put them two together that they become one thing, and understand that God is with you. That's why he said, I'll never leave you nor forsake you. But we don't even ask him to come into our life. And so the breath of life, Ezekiel chapter 37. Breathe into your situation. God, we gonna prophesy. Now we've given us the gift of prophecy. Now we prophesy over a thing. And it's a decree. And he said, and I've said it and I'll do it. God's decree. That ain't got nothing to do with us. That's his decree.
I said it.
I said, like he said, I said what I said. If I told you this relationship,
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I know what I'm doing. Listen, I know what I'm doing. If I told you this relationship was going to work a year or 2 years ago, baby, best believe it's going to work. But we just got to go through some things. We got to put the thorn in your side so you realize how you handle this situation. We know, I gave that to you. I remember the day I met you. You were so low. Oh, God, man. And now here you are, this woman who's free and just like, listen, now I got to speak to a thing and tell it to come alive. You need to come alive. The breath of life. He said, and he prophesied, so he commanded. Now, God gave him the prophecy. He told him what to say. Ezekiel just went and said the thing that he told him. So he's giving us the understanding that I give you the words to speak. We talked about working the word. You already know the word. You already know the word. So speak to the thing and tell it to do what it needs to be done. Okay? All right?
Yes.
And you better speak to that job. And I decree and declare that this job will no longer write me up, that I can leave this job clean and free and continue to make some money from Yaya Yummy. I decree and declare that Yaya Yummy will. And if we even just do the prophecy that he said, that he gave him, he told us, he said, watch this. I'm bringing the breath of life to you and you'll come to life. I'll attach sinews to you. I'll put meat on your bones, cover your skin, the breath of life into you. You'll come alive and you'll realize that I am God. And you just say that little prayer to your business. Listen, I'm finna put whatever it is to it. I would just even say that because God, I don't even know what you want me to say, what you want me to prophesy to my business. And even create the prophecy. God, what do you want me to prophesy to this business? That it come back to life. What do you want me to prophesy to my relationship? That it come back to life. Oof. What is the
I
prophecy?
think God just needs to be snapping his fingers and just, there it is.
But he said, whoop, there it is.
He wants you to do
Whoop.
that. It's like when we think about Jesus and the 12 disciples, he asked me, he said, oh, you wretched people. He said, he called them wretched. You wicked. No, he called them wicked. You wicked people.
Wicked people.
How long am I going to be here with you?
I'm about sick of y'all.
I've been showing you what to do. I've been telling you the word to speak. I've been doing all these things, and you cannot. You can't even cast out a demon from somebody. You come on here. I done taught y'all everything you need to know.
He said, greater thing.
Shall you do?
Oh, that's what we told him.
So now you speak to them bones and tell them bones to do what I told it to do. Because the prophecy comes from the breath of God, Yahweh, the breath. Speak to it. Well, all hearts and minds clear. Zakiya probably
Yes.
night. Hopefully that'll get in her subconscious.
I wish they would like undo their mics so we could hear if they're snoring. Hello?
But Tangela's at work, right?
Yeah. Tangela.
Oh, is she?
She's at work.
Well, all right, y'all. I love y'all.
Oh, it's good to see everybody tonight.
I know. I'm gonna start recording.